we should be. All right. We're back. Yes, we're back. Had some technical difficulties, as we always do here at Owl Radio for now.
Way.
Yeah, but you know what? We're back. What were we talking about? I don't even remember.
So we were talking about Gonzaga and Baylor being in the championship game, possibly.
Right.
And, well, we think they're going to be in the championship game. Let's just put it like that. But we made the gentleman's bet. And we were talking about Gonzaga's dominance. Listen, they have been a dominant team over the past decade, winning a lot of games, winning some games in March. But the one knock against them is they have not won the championship. They haven't won one. And they got to get over the hump. Mark Few has to get over the hump because as great as he's been in the decade, until you win a championship, it really doesn't solidify. It's the same thing that Calipari went through. It's the same thing Pitino went through. Until they won championships, they were just known as very good, solid coaches with very good programs.
Which I think is crazy because I view Mark Few as a much better coach than Bill Self. And Bill Self has one championship.
He does have one championship. He does.
That's it.
But who do they mention more? They mention Bill Self more than they mention Mark Few. Is that right? No, it's not. But
it's the way it is.
You know what I mean?
I can respect that mindset.
Right.
But I think Mark Few is probably the best coach in college. Jay Wright also I think is also one of those because both of these guys have done it and they don't get the big 5 stars that KU, Kentucky, Louisville, at least Louisville used to get. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
That these
Coach
other
K.
Yeah, Coach K, all Duke, North Carolina, all these guys get. They get very good players. I'm not gonna act like they're getting cents on the dollar for these guys. They're still getting 4-star guys, maybe even 5-star guys sometimes. Like Jalen Suggs is a 5-star guy, but they're not getting the same kind of recruiting, and they're doing, I think, more than what these other guys are doing. Coach K, he won that title back with Jalil Okafor, right?
Yep.
Jalil Okafor's year.
Yeah.
Great. But you know what? I don't know, man. I just don't look at it that way, even though that's how it is.
He had Justice Winslow on that team, too, if I'm not mistaken. So he had some NBA talent on that team.
I remember they played Wisconsin. Frank Kaminsky.
Frank Kaminsky. Yeah. That's right.
And Sam Decker. Sam Decker is also a good player on that team as well.
He was solid.
So Gonzaga Baylor, since it's already pretty much finalized at this point.
We think so.
Is this going to be the greatest college basketball game of all time? Because this was supposed to happen back in November. This is supposed to be the invitational that you always have at the beginning of the season for the tournament.
Maui Invitational?
I think so.
Okay.
I think it was the Maui Invitational.
Okay. Cool.
And they were supposed to play. Of course, COVID canceled that game. So they're going to more than likely be playing here in a couple of weeks. It's going to be the best college basketball game, most anticipated college basketball game of all time.
You know, you got some really good ones, and, you know, obviously I'm a historian of the sport, right? So you have, you know, Houston and North Carolina State. That one was a great game back in the day. Michigan, North Carolina with the Fab Five returning back. You also have, as recent, Villanova and North Carolina with the Chris Jenkins walk-off. That was a pretty good game, too. You know, even with the Gordon Hayward 3 that could have got Butler a championship.
Okay, let me rephrase. Instead of thinking, is it going to be the best game ever? Is this the most anticipated matchup ever if it does happen?
No, I don't think so.
Really? What's more anticipated than this one? I can't think of anything that's even close.
More anticipated though,
because you go. Okay, so let's go back to any. I want you to go back to any tournament, final game, national championship game you can think of in college basketball history, and think where both of these teams, either the first and second best team the entire season, and there was never a doubt about it. Because that is what we have with Gonzaga Baylor, is that there was never a doubt that Baylor and Gonzaga were going to be there in the end.
That's true.
What about Memphis and Kansas? The Derrick Rose
Memphis
versus Chalmers.
Those were not the 2 best teams in the nation that year.
Okay, I thought that was a huge anticipated game though. But you're probably right.
Because there's a difference between anticipation versus like matchups. Like I was very excited to see that was the Kentucky Kansas year, which was Anthony Davis versus Thomas Robinson.
Without question.
To me, that was a big matchup.
Yeah.
But those were not the 2 best teams. Kentucky was the best team in the nation that year.
Yes, they was.
Kansas was not the second best team in the nation that year. Very rarely in the NCAA tournament, because of all the upsets, because of the one and done, the eliminations, the craziness of March Madness, does this ever happen?
I think this game is highly anticipated because it was canceled before, and we did not see
Yes,
this
exactly.
matchup.
That adds to it.
And I certainly believe that. I just don't know if I could say ever. You know what I mean?
And you know why? It's because it's Baylor and Gonzaga.
Could be.
If this were North Carolina Duke,
Yeah.
we would be losing our minds, no matter what seed they were.
I'll give you that.
So shame on you guys.
I'll give you that. I will.
Yeah.
Because
but there's a lot of games in the history now.
Because it's a team that plays in Spokane, Washington, and it's because they're playing a football school, or they're going to be playing. Let's just act like they're already in the title at this point. And because they're going to be playing a football school in Baylor, that we just look past and like, well, it's not that exciting because you don't know the names. Well, you're about to learn these names because these guys are going to be either NBA head coaches or lifelong Baylor and Gonzaga coaches. And they're gonna have these programs for years to come. Okay. I can't think of any, and I'm not talking about just college basketball. I can't think of any sport that has had this happen, to where it is the first and second best team the entire season, and they finally end up getting to meet. NBA is kind of different because you have super teams, right?
To say, yeah.
NBA is sort of different because that's kind of almost not even fair. Because the NBA is just tailor-made for super teams, tailor-made for the one seed to go all the way. March Madness is not. And so that's why I think it's going to be the greatest game ever.
Okay. I feel you.
And Gonzaga is still going to win by 15 points.
But what if it ends up being Gonzaga and Houston?
Gonzaga will win by 25 points.
But don't you have Baylor winning it?
I do. But I don't think they're going to win it. After what we've seen from Gonzaga, Gonzaga is a much better team than Baylor. Yeah. And Baylor is a much better team than Houston. Okay. Because there are levels to this. And Baylor and Gonzaga are on their own levels.
He dropped it.
But I like that. I like that
too.
Gonzaga and Baylor are on their own levels here. But Gonzaga is on its own level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over Baylor.
True.
Because
they play pure basketball.
They play pure basketball. Everything they do is perfect.
Okay.
It's connected. And they have cruised to all of these victories. They have not sweated a single minute of any of these games. Creighton played a perfect brand of basketball, and they still lost by 25 points?
Yeah, they lost pretty bad.
That says it all.
We're going to see Saturday night. We're going to see. That's when the Final Four is, I believe.
All right. Okay, talking about the NFL, some news just dropped a few days ago. 17-game. We knew this was coming. We didn't know if it was going to be official this year or next year, but a 17-game regular season for the NFL, adding an extra game starting this year. Clearly, some players do not like it. What do you guys think?
I think it's good. I mean, I don't really think it's that big of a deal because, I mean, let's be honest. These players are not going to play all 17 games. You know, like that's just not what's going to happen. They barely play all 16, whether it be because of injury or whether that be because of rest. So, I mean, them complaining is just, you know, it's just because another game is added to the schedule that they're not going to play. But I feel like the NFL wants to get more revenue right now, especially, you know, you're not having fans. They want to make more money, then have at it. It's kind of like then a couple years ago, you had NFL players complaining about, like, comparing their contracts to NBA players. It's like they play.
Boo-hoo.
They played 82 games, you know? So it's just like, well, here you go. You wanted more money, and some are making more money. You look at Patrick Mahomes' contract. You look at what Dak Prescott is getting paid. It's like, well, it's time to go out there and earn that money, you know? It's time to go out there and kind of clock in their life, you know? So, I mean, I really don't think a star player like, you know, like a Dak Prescott or, you know, guys like that are going to play all 17 if they're healthy. Like they'll probably end up playing around 15 or 14. But I think it's a good move as far as generating revenue to pay these players, because how can you pay all these players this money when your stands aren't even half full?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a business move. We know it's an owner's type of move. It's good for the owners. They're trying to recoup money from losses from 2020. You heard Roger Goodell said he's going to have fully stadiums next year. Don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm sure they're going to try to shoot for that for sure.
I think they will, man.
It could
UFC is already putting on, and here in a couple weeks, they're already putting on a full packed arena, 100% capacity.
That's true, and that's in Jacksonville.
This vaccine has changed so much,
right? So it's possible. I just don't know. I don't know if it's going to be likely for every stadium.
Right.
But It's possible, but it's strictly just business. That's what the owners are trying to do. Of course, the players are not going to be happy. They wasn't happy playing 16 games. They're not happy playing with 2 games in 5 days. You know, you can't talk about making money and making revenue when you're talking about player safety playing in 5 games. Now you add another game. Now the preseason, which normally is 4 games, are you going to cut that down to 2? I think that you should, because I don't think 4 preseason games, it doesn't make any sense. Nobody even plays the 4 preseason games. There are people that want to try to make the roster. And if you ain't showed up in training camp in the first 2 games of preseason, well, what the hell is going to be the difference in the 4th game? So it's just a matter of, like Jasper was saying, revenue being generated by the NFL, and that's what they want to do. So kudos to the owners for trying to get more money in their pockets. Good business decision.
Yeah, and it also, players used to, like, I don't know, this generation has been kind of like a drop-off in, like, you know, both basketball and football. It's kind of like players used to like playing games, you know? Nowadays, you got basketball players on the one side, like, oh, 82 games is too long. Cut it down to 60, cut it down to 70. You know, it's like, do these guys actually, like playing basketball, or are they just picking up a check? And a lot of them play like they're picking up a check. You know, load management, things like that. That's not necessarily too much going on in NFL, but like I'm just talking about in general, you see a lot of guys like, oh man, I gotta play another game. Just skip to the playoffs. Like they just want to skip to the playoffs and get a championship or something like that. Where I feel like as fans we're being robbed of kind of like this, kind of like, you know, the mentality that Kobe had, that I'm going to prove that I'm the best every single night. It's like not many people have that fighter mentality anymore. Not saying that everyone has to be like a Kobe, because, you know, he was one of a kind, but it's like, you know, that mentality of like in the 90s, early 2000s, where it's like, oh, every night I'm going to go out and bring it. Nowadays, it's like, oh, I'm going to bring it out when I need to, when I want to.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh, do I have to play today? Like, can I just chill? You know, so it's kind of like that. It's in the NFL and NBA right now.
Yeah, I like a lot of what you guys said. First of all, I think if you guys have listened to this show, you know, I find it very hard to have any sympathy for people getting paid millions of dollars to play a child's game that I would kill to do. So Alvin Kamara, I don't care what you think. I don't care that you guys don't like the extra game. I don't care that you think that they're not for player safety, because they're not. They never have been. And I know that's the optic of, man, well, how do you care about player safety and then go out another game? Well, they never did in the first place, because this is a business.
Yeah,
so,
and you signed up to do it, you know?
And you signed up to do it. Listen, hey, Alvin Kamara, do you want to go do my job? Do you want to go flip some burgers? Do you want to go do this? Do you want to go do that? Like, do you want to work an actual job? Or do you want to just play that extra game? And by the way, you're getting that extra paycheck. You're not getting paid the same. You're getting that extra game check.
Whether you play or not.
Right, whether you play or not, you're getting that extra game check. You're getting paid.
Right.
So I don't understand the kind of backfire, the backlash. Thank you for that. The backlash that the players are giving the league. We knew this was coming down the pipe. This was in works 2 years ago. Yeah, it's been in the works. We had the extra playoff game last year.
Yep. I
didn't hear anyone complain about that. All of a sudden, an extra regular season game is a problem for players. I find that kind of funny.
Yeah.
I think something else that this is going to do that's maybe a little tricky is Hall of Fame stats. So, for example, let me give you, say a guy who just starts this year, Trevor Lawrence, okay? Let's say he goes down and has a borderline Hall of Fame career.
Okay.
Let's say someone else who has a borderline, Phillip Rivers, borderline Hall of Fame career, right? Has a lot of passing stats. Trevor Lawrence, let's say he averages about 250 to 300 yards per game.
Okay.
You multiply that extra game that he gets, say he plays almost 20 years. That's almost 6,000 extra yards of passing, plus touchdowns, plus completions, plus all of this other stuff that he's going to get on top of a guy like Phillip Rivers. So I think we need to, in our minds, adjust to these extra stats that we're going to be seeing, because 6,000 yards is significant. That is a big jump.
Yeah.
And that's even if you only average 300. If you average 4 or 350, could you imagine the stats that you're going to get, plus the extra touchdowns, Plus, if you play an extra playoff game, think of the extra playoff stats that you get.
And I'm
extra.
sure Trevor will be in the playoffs at some point.
Right. I'm sure he will.
Yes,
right?
Yes,
Maybe for Jacksonville or whoever. It doesn't matter. Trevor Lawrence is going to be in the playoffs at some point.
Yes, indeed.
So I think that is something that's going to be interesting in seeing because we've had that problem in the past where, the NFL didn't play 16 games. And how do you compare stats from back then to now? And I think we're going to have that same thing where it's going to be like, well, you're going to have these guys who have these extra 5,000 yards, extra 15 touchdowns, and it might seem significant, but it's not. So I think that's something else to think about.
Well said.
Some more NFL stuff. San Francisco trading up to the number 3 pick. Miami trading out, bumping back to, I believe, 6 to Philly's pick. I think Philly bumped back into the first round as well.
They did.
But San Francisco going to the number 3 pick. So now it's Jacksonville number 1, Trevor Lawrence. New York Jets number 2, big question mark. And then San Francisco at number 3. So what do you guys think San Francisco does with the number 3 pick?
They need to pick up like Trey Lance, someone like that, quarterback.
Okay.
It's funny because Shanahan says that they want to keep Garoppolo right now.
Right. They want to keep him, but
you
don't trade up to go get
Exactly.
anybody, especially if they re-sign Trent Williams. So Sewell's out of the picture.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know it's not tackle. So to me, it's easily quarterback. They must have liked either. Personally, I think they're probably going to go get Zach Wilson. I think that they probably will go get him.
I am actually going to find myself on the other side of this argument, even though I just made the case for quarterback. Because why wouldn't they have traded up to number 2 if they really wanted a quarterback? They know Trevor Lawrence is gone. He's sealed to Jacksonville. Jacksonville is not trading that pick for anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's already chalk. Why wouldn't they trade up to number 2?
I think that, you got easily Fields, Lance, Wilson.
Right, but here's the thing. New York is, you could argue, even though I wouldn't argue this, but most people would, in need of a quarterback. So if you have your guy, do you trade up to get either one or the other? So let's say Zach Wilson is their guy. New York takes him at number 2. Why'd you trade up at all? Because now your guy is gone. And you're just going to take Trey Lance because, we need a quarterback.
True.
Well, if that's not your guy, then you can't take him. So then they're stuck at the number 3 pick. So in my head, I think San Francisco is smart enough to understand that a quarterback will be going at number 2. So they're going to take Jamar Chase at 3. Wide receiver.
I think so.
I do think so.
Chase.
Yes. Because I think if they really wanted the quarterback, they would have traded up to number 2.
I think
because there are no assurances. New York has not come out and said, "Oh, we're taking Penny Sewell, or we're taking Jamar Chase, or we're taking Kyle Pitts, or we're taking a quarterback." They haven't made it really clear. So with San Francisco trading up to 3 instead of 2,
I don't think that's out of pocket. I don't. What you're saying.
right? Yeah.
No,
okay.
Because San Francisco needs help. They need wide receiver.
Right.
help.
They have one of the worst wide receiving cores in the NFL
and
right
you're
now.
right with the quarterback position. They tried to see the market for Sam Darnold. I think sources said that Darnold's really only worth maybe a 3rd round pick, or maybe even a 4th round, 3rd or 4th round. So for the Jets, I don't think they're gonna get much back for him. So it's like, if you're right, if you know who your guy is, you're gonna make sure that you get him.
Right, and pretty much the
him.
number 2 pick is pretty much the number 1 overall pick right now at this point.
Right.
Because again,
we already know what Jacksonville's gonna do.
Right. So the draft starts at number 2, and if New York is telling San Francisco, why would New York tell San Francisco, we are taking a quarterback? Why would they tell them that when they can just trade out of that pick and get that pick at number 2 and take their guy?
That makes sense. That does. But I think for me, it wouldn't surprise me though if they went with Zach Wilson.
Because if I were New York, and it wouldn't surprise me either, because trading up logically, you think they're going to take a quarterback. But for me, that number 2 pick baffles me, and that's why I think they're going with Jamar Chase and or Devontae Smith. They're not going with Sewell because they are just signed Trent Williams to a 5-year deal.
Right.
If I were New York, if I have Sam Darnold, I would tell them, listen, I'm taking a quarterback here. I'm taking quarterback at 2. So then they're thinking, okay, well, we got to go trade up to 2. But that didn't happen.
No.
So that tells me
Jets is keeping it on the wraps.
that the Jets are keeping either they are making it blatantly obvious that we are not taking a quarterback, which I doubt. They have no reason to do that because they could easily trade out of that pick if they wanted to, right? And get all these extra picks from San Francisco.
They could.
But they didn't do that. So that tells me that they are keeping everything under wraps no matter what they're doing.
Right.
And I think Zach Wilson is going to go at number 2.
Okay.
And then that's going to leave San Francisco saying, well, we have to pick between was Zach Wilson our guy, or is it Trey Lance, or is it Mac Jones, whatever it is. Either way, they're taking a microscopic, even let's say it's Mac Jones off the wall, right?
Yeah.
They're taking still a microscopic chance that someone could jump ahead of them, or the Jets just take Mac Jones at 2.
Devontae Smith, possibly, he kind of fits more what San Francisco likes. I could see him going there. Jamar Chase, I could definitely see him in Cincinnati. That's for sure. If Devontae Smith goes 3, I could see Cincinnati possibly picking him. Although they should get an offensive tackle if Sewell is there.
Yes.
But we've seen people make wild decisions before in the draft. You know what I mean? So we know what time it is. But that is a pretty good theory that you have. I really like that theory because.
Think about this. This is something that I think supports my theory. Go back to 2016 draft. 2018 draft. Mitchell Trubisky. Okay.
They traded up.
San Francisco was at 3, or San Francisco was at 2. Mm-hmm. Chicago was at 3. Mm-hmm. They traded up 1 pick to go get Trubisky. They left 0 chance on the board that Trubisky was going to be gone at number 2. They traded up 1 pick. San Francisco traded up at least a few. I don't remember exactly where they were at. Probably 7, something like 8, something like that.
Okay.
They traded all the way up to 3, but not to 2. So that tells me either the New York Jets are blatantly telling them, listen, we're not taking a quarterback here, so you're going to be able to get Zach Wilson, no problem. Which would make no sense for the Jets to do that.
Well,
because then that would free up them to trade out of that pick and get all this extra assets because they could just go with Sam Darnold anyway. So for the Jets, either they're being absolutely incompetent, or which is completely possible.
That's in the realm.
Right.
That's in the realm now.
It is in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it's in the stands. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Or they're keeping everything under wraps, like they should. And I think San Francisco's straight up for a wide receiver.
I think they're gonna keep it under wraps. I personally think the Jets, they tried to see what the market for Darnold was. It's gonna be hard to move him. Nobody's going to really want to take him for that. I think the Jets probably take
Zach Wilson.
Either that or the tackle. I think one of the two. Right.
But I think a problem with the Jets just taking Zach Wilson, I think that's what's going to happen. But what's the problem we've been saying for years, since his career started, with Sam Darnold? We're like, yeah, he's okay, but he has nothing around him. You take Zach Wilson, guess what he got? The same thing that Sam Darnold has, which is nothing around him.
Right. That's why I don't like that pick, but right. I do think the Jets possibly can take it. I think the 49ers is going to take a big splash they're going to make a big splash, and I think the Zach Wilson would make sense. He has a cannon of an arm. He can throw the ball. And maybe West Coast kid.
Maybe it's Kyle Pitts at 3. You see his pro day? You see his combine? I mean, this guy's a freak of nature. He could go with number 3.
To have Kyle Pitts and George Kittle on the same team?
Yeah, I know. I think Pitts is probably more wide receiver in the NFL, but yes.
My gosh.
I know.
That'd be something.
All right, talking about the NBA now.
Let's do it.
We missed the trade deadline. We missed a few trades, some buyouts, some free agent moves.
Some waivers.
All of the above.
All of that.
What deadline move did you guys like the most, or what team do you think has improved the most since the deadline?
Oh, it's definitely Denver. Aaron Gordon and JaVale McGee. I think the biggest issue with Denver when they faced the Lakers last year was the Lakers had too much athleticism going on. Jokic is great, but he cannot move. He cannot move around with Anthony Davis and like LeBron and those guys. And honestly, I don't even know if the Lakers will be who they'll compete with, but they have athleticism to compete with anybody in the West now with Aaron Gordon and JaVale McGee coming off the bench. Gordon starting, of course. I think you have a lot more movement going on, and Mike Porter Jr. is better this season. Like we saw him ascend in the playoffs. Jamal Murray ascends in the playoffs too. So I definitely think that they got the best shot at winning the West now with this trade.
Well, Denver's the obvious one. I mean, everybody should be a consensus on that on the show. We know what Aaron Gordon is going to do. We know what JaVale McGee is going to do. They needed size. I mean, you look at Lakers, they got Andre Drummond. So Denver says, hey, we got to have size to combat that and be able to do that. The sneaky one for me is Oladipo to Miami. I think that one's going to be a good pickup for him. It's going to refresh his career. He's going to learn that culture down there. He's not expected to do a lot. Miami is a gritty team. I think Miami can kind of ascend. They've been on a good run so far. So I do think Oladipo can help that team get better. And already Bam is quite the star in the league. We know what Jimmy can do. Harold can shoot. So can Duncan. Victor can obviously come off the bench and score a lot of points. So the sneaky move for me is Miami. Now, obviously, we know Denver and we know Jersey are the two teams that made quite the moves with the signings. But I'm going to choose Miami Heat.
Yeah, I would go with Miami Heat if I thought Victor Oladipo was really anything special anymore, which I don't view him as, especially mentally. And I know he was in Houston, he didn't really want to be.
Right.
But I'm just not convinced anytime I'm watching Victor Oladipo that he's anything special anymore. So I wouldn't. Miami did get better. They didn't get worse because they gave up pretty much nothing. Love that as a Rockets fan. Love that we give up a decent player for nothing.
Yeah, that sounds like the Houston way now.
Well, I mean, it's kind of our hands kind of been forced the past year or two.
Right.
So,
you know what I mean?
For me, I have the Portland Trailblazers. You did give away a little bit in terms of you gave away Rodney Hood and Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr. a very good young player, but they get Norman Powell, a guy who's been put up 20 points per game this year. And that's really what they've needed. And I'm not saying this makes them a title contender, but it makes them better. It makes them more of a threat. It makes them think about someone else beside Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum when he's healthy. And that's something that they have not had for 6 years, since McCollum has been drafted, since Lillard has been there in Portland. They've never had a third option. They've never had another threat beside those two guys. This might free up that entire offense and make it the best offense, even though it's already one of the best offenses in the entire NBA. So I have Portland Trailblazers. That was really the only move that they made. The Bulls got a lot better getting Vucevic. But again, they're kind of they're a playoff team right now in the East, which is not really saying a whole lot, but they did get a little bit better. The Hawks got better getting Lou Williams. I can't believe that Rondo was worth 2 second-round picks, Cash and Lou Williams.
Wow.
Because Lou Williams is better than Rajon Rondo anyway. But that's
the Clippers
crazy.
were so desperate to get a point guard, though, because they just don't believe in Patrick Beverly. They don't believe in a point guard.
He's not really a facilitator.
Right. And obviously you saw what happened last night. The Clippers blew a 16-point lead to the Magic and lost the game. So they need somebody to set the table.
And listen, I know we talk about the Nuggets getting better because they got Aaron Gordon, a guy who can really do everything. I also think the Magic got better. You get R.J. Hampton and Gary Harris. Gary Harris is a very good role player. And R.J. Hampton could be a future star. Like, he has got that much potential right now. Only 20 years old. This is a guy that was a 5-star. This was the guy coming out of high school. This was the guy. Plus, future first-round picks, probably going to end up being 2, just for Aaron Gordon. Listen, I love Aaron Gordon, but he is a B to B minus player. Let's not put that. He is like almost Norman Powell type production at this point in his career.
You would be right if he was on the Magic, but on the Nuggets with Murray, Jokic, and with some actual talent, he can actually probably ascend and be a better player on that team because he's playing around better.
He's going to get less shots, less opportunities.
He can fit his role a lot better.
I agree. I see that.
Right.
I'm not really saying he's better than Norman Powell, but what I'm saying is the production.
Okay.
It's not like they traded away a superstar. He's barely a star. If we're being honest, he's barely a star player.
You're right about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you get Gary Harris, who's again a very good shooting guard, probably a top 7 shooting guard in the NBA. I'm making that stat up in my head, but that's what I made. And then R.J. Hampton, who can maybe potentially be a star, plus 2 first-round picks. Yep. That's a great get for both teams.
Yeah, both a great trade for both teams, like you said.
Yeah.
And thank goodness the Lakers didn't trade for Kyle Lowry. That one. What did y'all think of that one? Like, cause there was so much like talk about.
He wasn't gonna
Kyle
do that.
Lowry.
I just think
that was
I just think the Raptors are ready to give the franchise to Fred VanVleet, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, they're like Kyle Lowry, you know. It's kind of what happened with, Mahomes and Alex Smith. You know, it's like you have the veteran, but you're like, okay, it's time to push one of these guys out. We're not pushing out the young gun.
Right. You're paying both
and
pretty
you're
good money.
paying both. Right. That's
Pretty good
exactly right. And they're not going to hand that franchise off to Pascal Siakam, especially what he's been doing this year. So,
No.
Yeah.
So,
I wouldn't trade for Kyle Lowry.
and I knew the Lakers wasn't going to do that. They weren't going to trade for them. They have Schroeder there. They have a point guard.
Did you see the deal that Schroeder turned down?
Yeah.
He turned down 4 years, $85 million. Turn that down. He's not getting that from anyone else beside the Lakers. I can guarantee that.
I saw that, and
Can you believe?
I was wild.
This dude's about to get 20. He was about to get $20 million a year.
He's betting on himself. I mean, that's what people do. He's betting on himself to say, "Hey, I'm a max caliber type of player." I don't think he is.
Good Lord.
But
He's not even half of that.
But the only reason why you turn a deal like that down is you are betting on yourself to try to get more of that bag. Now, mind you, since you turned that down, Andre Drummond probably won't turn that down, because if we offer him some kind of money like that and he stays with the Lakers, baby, he definitely gonna sign back.
Absolutely. And listen, this is another team that I left out because they technically hasn't really made a trade since the James Harden trade, but the Brooklyn Nets getting LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin.
Yeah, they're getting everybody, man.
Absolutely.
They're getting everybody.
Yeah.
They're obviously the favorites to win it all. They're obviously.
They have to be.
So, great signing. I don't know how you go. It's only one basketball now, so I don't know how you're going to please everybody. LaMarcus came in for the veteran minimum. Blake, now he dunking. Harden still getting his 40s and his triple dubs. And we haven't even talked about KD, because has he came back from his hamstring yet?
No, he's too busy fighting Michael Rappaport.
So there you go. There you go.
See, I think what's going on is, I hate to accuse players of faking it, but I feel like we'll see KD once the playoffs, around the playoff time. It's gonna be a little fishy to me, but I think KD's gonna come back.
Yeah,
right before playoffs.
I would too. I mean, the Nets gonna cruise through everybody except the Sixers.
And Kyrie's not even playing either. So.
NBA players have always been more on the cautious side with their. Do we really think LeBron needed to be carried out because there was no heat, or there was no air conditioning in the San Antonio game? Come on. Did Paul Pierce really need to be carried off the court?
Man,
no, especially knowing
he said he had to take the dump.
Yeah, he's exactly. So
it was hot in there.
Right? Was he's the only one? No one else cramped up like that?
Hey,
I had to be carried
maybe
out like
he didn't get enough bananas in his system. He didn't get enough potassium. Okay?
I find it hard to believe that people aren't giving LeBron James enough potassium over anyone else. Norris Cole didn't cramp up.
I forgot about Norris Cole.
Exactly. I threw back to that.
Hey.
I was watching a D-Wade documentary with my brother today.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Norris. They were talking about Norris Cole.
Oh, it's not. Where is he now?
I don't know.
Out the league for sure. Yeah.
You know what? Hey, anyone who's played in the league has had a successful athletic, by far successful athletic career. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
The Nets. This is a more talented team than the Miami Big Three. I think.
Yes.
All around, especially adding LaMarcus Aldridge. You had Karis LeVert, they traded him away, but now Jared Allen's still on the team. DeAndre Jordan. These are guys who are now backup players that are starting for playing for this team.
Left.
Jared Allen left?
Yeah, he got traded.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But yeah, even with that, even with Blake and LaMarcus, the top three, you still have DeAndre. You still got Joe Harris on the team. You got some snipers. You got some snipers on the team.
Is Dinwiddie still there?
Spencer's hurt.
Yeah.
But he is still there.
Always.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if they would have had Spencer Dinwiddie, bruh. Just give the title to him.
Do you guys have a problem with these super teams like this?
No.
Yeah, I do.
I don't.
Okay.
Because it was a big problem when Chris Paul wanted to join Kobe years ago. So I'm like, what? Why was that an issue?
Yeah,
but
that was a big mistake.
It's not an issue because I'm like, we would have loved to see Chris Paul and Kobe. Like that would have been amazing. I think there's an issue here because now you have a super team like this, and now you have people cheating fans. I don't like being cheated as a fan. If we have a super team, I need to see them all playing. Like, I guess KD can blame it on injury, but what is Kyrie doing?
Kyrie came back.
Okay.
Yeah, but Kyrie's got a very spotty history.
He's
though.
in and out, and and then
James Harden's been the only consistent. Of the three on this team, that's hilarious to
Yeah.
say.
That is.
And he had Blake Griffin chilling, and I don't know what Blake Griffin was doing before he hopped in the suit. It's just like you got these guys, and I don't know, these guys all want to just pile on for a championship. It kind of like cheats the matchups. Like what happened to LaMarcus? Being a guy like he was in Spurs. Well, I mean he's older now, but what happened to guys wanting to beat these teams? What happened to guys wanting to beat? Look at KD and Kyrie going, oh nah, we're gonna beat them. It's like I might as well sign with KD, Kyrie, and get it over.
I am 100% with you. I don't like what's happening, but at the same time, a couple things. There's nothing we can do because these guys are gonna. Because this is what these guys want: easy titles. I can't say I wouldn't want an easy title, but like you said, I want to beat the best team.
Yeah,
I want to win. I don't want to just be along for the ride. I want to be a part of it. You have guys like Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge now at this point in their career just hopping on the train and saying, hey, you know what? We can get an easy ring here because we already got 3 top 10, top 15 players in the NBA on our team. But I don't know how you'd regulate that. And this is not, I mean, this is what, the 10th super team at this point. It's probably started with the big 3 and with the Celtics. Then you have the Miami big 3. Then you have the Warriors, who were the biggest cheat code in NBA history. A completely unfair team.
Without question when they signed KD.
So, I mean, if we're going to draw the line, it should have been way back when, at this point.
But these super teams have always been created. They've always been around. You go back, even not just talking about LeBron and Bosh and Wade, and then you go back to the Boston Big 3. But then you also go back to teams like the Lakers.
I think they drafted most of them.
Yeah, but they weren't free agents. They were all drafted.
Right, but we talking about teams. Like, if you talking about just people linking up, are you talking about just people linking up together to get a championship?
Yeah, because you look at all of these all of these recent super teams with the big 3 in Miami and Boston, and with the Warriors and with now the Nets.
The Warriors drafted their players, and KD decided to join.
They're still a super team.
But it's still a super team.
It's still a super team.
That's what I'm saying.
But I still feel like it's different than LeBron hopping in there and go like, oh, I'm gonna have this guy range here. I'm gonna have this guy range here.
Even in Cleveland.
Cleveland. He said because at the time Kevin Love was a top player. I mean he's not nowhere near that now. I mean I don't even know he's not even playing right now, right?
No, he's hurt. He's
always
still
hurt. There's something wrong with his head all the time. But anyway, it's. Yeah, Kevin Love was one of the top players. He saw how Kyrie was playing. He said, all right, now it's a time for me to come back to Cleveland, So it's kind of like a strategical way to win a championship. He knew he was going to win a championship with that team. He always will have 2 other top 15 players.
I think the definition of a super team is they're winning before the season starts. And, I mean, technically Brooklyn didn't form everything until a few games into the season with James Harden.
Yeah, we knew Kyrie and KD were teaming up because of free agency.
Right, we knew Cleveland was going to win. We knew the Warriors were going to win. Yeah. We knew the Celtics were going to win, and we knew the Heat were going to win. Yeah. Those are super teams. And no matter how they're formed, at this point, it's through free agency and it's through demanding trades. Okay. Anthony Davis forcing his way out of the Pelicans, going to the Lakers and winning a title.
Yes, he did.
They are one player away from being almost a super team, a big 3. Again, they are one superstar player away from being that. And it's just a
very big front line now. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I do have a problem with it. But once again, you can't regulate it. There's no way to force guys to go places and force them not to team up and win championships. Right. But and I think we're waiting way too long to draw the line. But I think super teams. I think it really did start with the Boston Big 3. Yeah. I don't think anything before that. I don't think there were really NBA super teams. There were great teams, but I don't think there were any super teams.
Okay.
Because, I mean, talking about outside of Michael Jordan in NBA history, was there ever a season where the season started and they knew who was going to win it? Maybe when you had Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, right?
Magic, Bird, those teams, yeah.
Those 2 teams were going to be there.
Right.
You didn't know who was going to win it. And then Michael Jordan was kind of a different thing because he was that good. Yeah. He was that era.
Yep.
Outside of that, the NBA, especially throughout all the 2000s, yeah, we know Kobe's probably going to be there.
The Kobe Shaq Lakers early, they
were
dominant, without question.
But they were not super teams. And we did not know beforehand that it was a slam dunk that they were going to win it.
All right, it was just a dynamic duo.
It's slam dunk. Brooklyn Nets are winning this title. There's just no two ways about it.
It should be a slam dunk.
It should be, but I really hope that they don't. because that would just be very entertaining.
Me too. And that's why the NBA is losing fans.
The Sixers will have something to say though. If they
Wow.
that'd be quite a matchup between those two teams. It would be.
What do you guys think are the Lakers' chances of winning the West right now?
Slim to none.
Yeah, very slim.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we ain't much to say on
Are
this.
you concerned of long-term health with LeBron James? Because I am.
No,
No.
I don't think so.
I
Two
think
significant, and he's never had injuries in his entire career. 2 significant injuries within the past 3 years.
No, I'm not concerned at all. He'll be ready to go. He'll come back. He'll be the GOAT, one of the GOATs, I should say. And he'll come back. He'll dominate. What I am concerned with is Anthony Davis. I'm a little concerned with him.
Oh yeah.
Because he has not played all season long, and they keep saying 1 week or 2 weeks, and we keep seeing him being out and out. So I am a little concerned about his injury history. But LeBron, no. LeBron be back.
Plot twist. LeBron James forces a trade to the Brooklyn Nets next year.
Yeah. And
To
it's
form
always-
not a super team, but a mega super team.
Yeah, that's a back.
And they go 82-0 and win the
First
NBA
team
title.
in history to win all the games of the season. Bro. That's crazy.
And they all load manage every quarter of the season.
Right. The only one that doesn't is James Harden. That's the only one that wouldn't.
Right. Exactly.
He would load manage.
All right, moving on to some MLB. We got about 6 minutes before the first hour is up here on the Swoop. Jordan, feel free to sit this one out if you want to, man. Dark Horse MVP. I went dark. So we picked our MVPs, we picked our Cy Youngs, Chris, and our World Series title winners.
Yeah.
I went Dark Horse MVP and Cy Young candidates. Maybe somebody that people aren't thinking about. I can go first and maybe give you some ideas.
Please do.
Did you look at the rundown before you came in?
No, I never do.
Why not?
Because I'm a boss with 2 S's.
No, you're gonna come up with bad answers. You're gonna be like, you're gonna be like,
yes.
you're
Boss
like,
with 2 S's.
well, that's how you spell it.
Yeah. I was gonna say that. But thank you. But yeah, that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at the rundown, babe.
You're gonna be like, oh man, Dark Horse, Mike Trout, Juan Soto,
Here we go.
Max Scherzer.
No, don't do that, Jimmy. Don't disrupt like that. Don't do that.
I would honestly be surprised if you've heard of 3 of the 4 of these guys. I would be surprised.
Talk to me.
Not that I'm questioning your baseball acumen, because I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just saying these are very. If you know baseball very deeply, you know these guys. But that's about it. You know, if casual fans don't know these guys' names.
I would love to hear it.
So, AL MVP. Let me start off with a guy who's not even going to play in the field this year. He's going to be almost all-time DH, and that's Yordan Alvarez for the Astros. In his 3rd year,
I have heard that name.
I knew you would know of Alvarez. He's the most popular guy on here.
Yeah.
In his 3rd year now, George Springer out. It's time that this guy starts anchoring down this lineup as the best hitter on the team. He's already pretty much better than Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve. Who knows what's going on with Jose Altuve this year and last year? Yordan Alvarez is a dark horse MVP candidate. I think my AL MVP was Luis Robert. I'm still going to stick with that, especially with Eloy Jimenez being out for 6 months. Man, that hurts a lot. Right. So he's my MVP.
They're going to need him in Chicago, though. They're going to need him. That's Chicago, right? Luis or no?
Yeah, for the White Sox.
Yes,
yeah, he's center fielder.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
And then my dark horse AL Cy Young winner is Zach Plesac.
That name I do not know.
Okay. He is the second pitcher for the Cleveland Indians. Behind Bieber. Had a terrific year last year. He got in trouble. Him and I believe it was Mike Clevenger both got in trouble, and then Mike Clevenger getting traded, violating COVID regulations last year. Now all of a sudden nobody wanted to talk about Zach Plesac because, oh my God, he's the worst. He's a troublemaker, all this stuff. He was fantastic last year. Posted a 2.3 ERA and had a lot of innings of work. He looked absolutely outstanding. A young pitcher that I think a lot of people are going to have to put on the map. And if Cleveland's going to be any sort of successful this year in any way, Zach Plesac is going to have to be a part of that. So that's me for the AL. Do you want me to go NL too?
What?
Okay. I'm giving you some time to think of some stuff, huh?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, so my NL MVP, dark horse. I'm not betting on this.
Right.
Alec Baum. Alec Baum is.
That name sounds familiar, but I don't know what team he's playing.
Just take a guess.
I'm gonna say Milwaukee.
No. He plays for the Philadelphia Phillies, third baseman, actually from Wichita State. Watch this guy play one game at Wichita State.
Wow.
On TV. Then
Okay.
actually wasn't actually there.
Okay.
Okay. Third baseman, right-hander. He won.
That is definitely a dark horse.
He is definitely a dark horse because he did not win Rookie of the Year last year. That was actually Devin Williams in the NL.
Right.
He was one of the candidates to get there. Got brought up about halfway through the shortened season, so only got about 40 games of ABs in. Was absolutely outstanding last year. A big power threat, and probably going to overthrow Bryce Harper as the best pure hitter. Actually, JT Realmuto, him and Realmuto will be the best hitters in this lineup next year.
Right.
I'm really big on Alec Baum. Again, third baseman for the Philadelphia Phillies. Cy Young, dark horse candidate in the NL. This is actually, outside of DeGrom, probably the favorite, in my opinion, to win the Cy Young. And that's Corbin Burns, the number 2 pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers. You always think about Brandon Woodruff and the amount of filth that he has. But Corbin Burns and his sinker ball is going to take over the NL this year. I think he's going to be in the Cy Young candidate, probably top 5, if not top 2. Corbin Burns, Alec Baum.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the NL first. In the NL, my dark horse MVP, I hate to say it because I don't really root for this team, but I like Nolan Arenado.
Okay. Yeah.
I like Arenado as an actual dark horse. Reason being is because he's now getting protected in that lineup.
Yeah. Goldschmidt, O'Neill,
Molina. I believe Wong is on that team as well.
No, he went to the Brewers.
He did. Colton Wong. Okay, so he has a plethora of hitters that's protecting him. Arenado can get back to being the guy that can drive in, and also that Busch Stadium is a friendly park. It's a friendly home run park. I think that Arenado can have a bounce back type year.
Okay.
Now my Cy Young, and this one here. This one was tough because I was kind of bouncing between two, but I think Yu Darvish, and I'm not being a homer here. I think Yu Darvish can be somebody who can possibly be a dark horse for the Cy Young. Remember, he's going to a new team in the Padres. The Padres have a very deep rotation with Blake Snell, with Paddock, with Lamet. I think Yu Darvish can perform. And he did with the Cubs last year. I think he can do it with the Padres and possibly be a Cy Young dark horse in the NL. So Arenado, Yu Darvish. Now, let's go AL. AL, my dark horse to win MVP is coming from the Toronto Blue Jays. I think Vladimir Guerrero. It's possible that he can win AL MVP.
Okay.
That's a dark horse to me. Now, mind you, I don't have him winning, but once again,
okay,
I have Toronto Blue Jays as one of the most improved teams playing.
Okay.
I have a team. That's a team.
I love the Blue Jays this year.
Yes, I think Vladimir Guerrero could possibly win the AL MVP. He hits the ball. He drops some weight, and I believe that he can
new position, playing first base instead of third.
Took the words out of my mouth. So I really love Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I should say, by the way. My Cy Young for the AL. This one was a little difficult too, because while I was thinking, I had about 2 or 3 in my mind, but I'm gonna go with Corey Kluber from the Yankees.
Okay.
Now this is definitely a dark horse, without question. We got to see how Corey Kluber is. He's on a new team. This is a very stacked team he's on. Servino is pitching on that staff as well, but I think Corey Kluber, if he can regain his form that he had. I believe pitching in Cleveland. He could possibly make some noise in that AL East as well. That AL East at the top is going to be exciting between the Yankees and the Toronto Blue Jays, in my opinion. What you think?
I have a tough time seeing Corey Kluber as a dark horse because I believe he's won a Cy Young before.
Okay.
And he's just been so dominant in the past, and he also was out all of last year, pitched 1 inning.
But he has not been that guy in a while. Just like Chris Sale. Chris Sale's been dominant, but we don't know what he's going to be either for Boston.
Yeah, that's fine. And also with the Toronto pick with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., I just don't, even his ceiling, I just don't think it's as big as a guy like Bo Bichette. So I just don't think he can win it. Because he has Kevin Biggio. I mean, there are so many great hitters on this team now. It's like
Springer as well.
Adding Springer, Teoscar Hernandez, that's a real power threat. I love the Blue Jays. I think they have maybe the deepest lineup in the AL. One of. There's not a single hole in that entire lineup.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't know if I see it
That's
from
why
Vlad.
I think he's a dark horse because this is probably going to be a long shot.
Bo Bichette would be a nice dark horse. Bo Bichette would be another one.
He would be. Yes,
all right. We're done talking about baseball, Jordan. Get off the phone now. Nice mental break for you.
I was researching.
Okay.
I learned about Bryce Harper.
You learned about Bryce Harper?
What about him?
Yeah, what about him?
He's a baseball player.
Okay.
All right, fact or fiction time.
Got to a fight or something. A couple seasons ago.
All right, fact or fiction. Jordan, you are 4 of 15. Chris, you're 6 of 12. Chris, you got it. What's your updated one?
Oh, my updated one is I was 2 of 3. I was 8 of 15 last time. Remember, I told you I was over 50%.
8 of 15. Jordan, 4 of 15.
All
right.
53% to be exact.
Are we ready for number one, fellas?
Yeah, I'm always ready.
All right, number one. Michelin hired a geographer to be able to find the first rubber trees to make their tires.
Yeah.
Or that minions in Despicable Me, the movie, have their own language.
Well, I was a minion for Halloween one time, so I know this for sure. It is definitely the rubber tires. We don't have our own language.
He sounds pretty confident. You're gonna follow
their own language.
So you're not gonna follow Chris?
No, I think minions. Like you don't understand what they're saying. So
I was a minion.
Okay, you don't. I don't. What do you mean by you don't understand what they're saying?
In the movies.
Right.
Yeah, like sometimes.
But I'm saying like no. The question is like they've actually created their own real life language.
Oh, real life language.
Yeah, I should have specified, but yeah, no, like it's actually a language.
Like
now.
people are out here talking minion language.
I mean, if you knew it, yeah, you could.
I was a minion for Halloween.
You said that a couple of times, Chris.
That's what I'm saying.
we know.
I just want to state that thing.
So you gonna stick with your pick, or you moving?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the minions.
You stick with your pick. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good time trusting your gut because you are right.
Oh, is that?
Yes, it's called Minionese. It's a real language, just like Dothrakian in Game of Thrones. Same thing with this. Yes, I understand.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I was crazy for Halloween.
All right. No, yeah. I'm saying it.
Yeah,
put that on a t-shirt.
Yes.
All right, number 2.
He should put on a t-shirt.
You said it like with the same tone. Like
yeah, he's kept saying it over. We heard you, Chris.
I just want to make sure that thing was heard. You heard me?
All right, number 2. The
50%.
average person's left hand does 56% of the typing, or that there are more pigs on Earth than there are people. I left the I out, so that was confusing.
Oh wow, more pigs.
Yeah, that being PGS right there.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I've ate enough pig in my time. You know what I'm saying? Sausage, bacon. I definitely know. I know this one, and it is the typing because my left hand is tricky.
Okay. Your reasoning is just always superb.
I don't think there's more pigs, so I'm gonna go with the typing.
You are both correct. Just sniff this one out.
Listen, I told you.
I changed it. There are more chickens on this earth than there are people.
Hey, and I had no chicken in my time.
Yeah.
We all have.
Yes, we have. Popeye is something else.
All right. So this is you've already won today. You've gotten 2 for 2.
You did.
Chris, this is the tiebreaker for you.
Hey, I'm 9 of 17, baby. I'm over 50%. Holla at your boy.
I'm talking about for today.
I'm still 50%.
You're one of 2 today. I'm saying this is the tiebreaker, whether you win or you lose.
Oh, okay.
You want to question the host
two
anymore?
Two rights don't make a wrong. Let's do it.
Number 3.
Okay.
Tigers have actual striped skin, not just the fur, or that a goldfish's memory spans only 7 seconds.
Wow, I've had all kind of fish in my life. Catfish, fish sticks.
You've never eaten a goldfish though, right?
I would say no.
Like
I
real
was
life.
about to say I never ate real life goldfish.
Grill,
Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go with the tigers because I think goldfish can think more than 7 seconds. Let's do that.
I'm going with the goldfish. People always go like attention span of a goldfish.
All right, now you both ended up 2 of 3 because the goldfish one is incorrect, and it's the tigers do have striped skin. Another fun fact, I altered this fact a little bit. Goldfish memory actually only spans 3 seconds, not 7.
Oh, wow.
So, whatever your logic was, you ended up getting it right, but...
Yeah, I knew about the Tigers, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I knew
sure.
about Tigers. I'm
Of
2 for
course,
3. That
of course.
means I am 10 of 18. Do you know what that is? That's 55%. No, 56, because that's 0.555.
Yeah, you were way off, man. Not even close. An entire percent off, I expect more from you.
Yeah, it's 56%. Yeah.
Good. Glad you learned your lesson. All right, moving on to underrated, overrated. I got 4 topics for you guys.
Let's do it.
Chris, you're going to like one of these especially. Number 1, the Miami Heat. Getting Victor Oladipo at the trade deadline. Underrated, overrated?
Underrated in my opinion. Like I said, Miami's a good team. They were struggling earlier this year. Reason being Jimmy Butler was in and out of the lineup. So was Tyler Hero. But I think they found their fitting. I think they're going to ascend in the standings. Oladipo is going to help. Remember, you don't need much from him. You just kind of need him to score off the bench. Be that firepower off the bench. You already have pretty good starters. Bam is your leader on this team. He's been playing phenomenal as the young phenom. Miami Heat, underrated. Remember, this was a 5th seed that made it to the finals last year. So they're an underrated team.
I think it's overrated. I don't think they're going to do a repeat of last year. I really do like Oladipo, but I don't think we're going to see Indiana Pacer Oladipo. And also, it's just like it's going to take a lot for them to get back in there. Now, yes, I do understand Jimmy Butler, not really playing that many games this season, and they're starting to come back. I don't think they're not going to be important in the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to do what they did again last year. It's just a different story. You see Doc Rivers, what he's doing over there in Philly, Miami. I mean, they have a chance to be a top 5, top 4 team in the East, but I don't think he really fits their system like that. Because, like you said, Oladipo coming off the bench, he's not going to be happy with that. And he might as well leave them in free agency if he's coming off the bench. I mean, he's coming off the bench. You talk about a guy who was leading a franchise coming off the bench to Tyler Hero. There's something's going to have to happen there. Either Tyler Hero and Oladipo are going to have to start, or Tyler Hero's going to have to come off the bench for a veteran. Because you don't do that to a guy you're trying to sign in free agency that you just traded for. So I think there's going to be some complications there, because I don't think Oladipo can necessarily start on this team like this. And you want Hero to develop and get those minutes, but you got a veteran that you just brought in who I don't think fits in your Miami Heat system like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think overrated, because I think people are still looking at this team. Again, the underrated, overrated segment is, what do you think people look at this team as, or what this person as? I think people still look at this team as a threat out of the East. I don't think that's even close anymore. I don't think they could beat Milwaukee again. I don't think they can beat the 76ers, and I definitely know they're not going to beat the Brooklyn Nets. So you're getting out of the first round possibly, and that's not impressing me, so I don't think that the Heat are a threat anymore. Number 2, Francisco Lindor turned down a 10-year, $250 million deal, once a couple extra years from the New York Mets. Underrated, overrated?
Oh, my Lord. What's wrong with these folks?
I'll start off.
Start it, please.
Underrated. This is a great player, and I'm not saying I would pay him the contract. That's not really part of what I'm going for here. But when do you ever get a shortstop that can play Gold Glove leather at the shortstop position, hit 40 home runs, drive in 100-plus runs, get on base at 40% and above, and be able to walk among the best in the MLB? When you get that from a shortstop, any of those things I would take from a shortstop, let alone all in one player, plus he can steal bases. Francisco Lindor is a top 10 player in this league. I don't know if I necessarily give him a 12-year contract, because I don't think anyone is deserving of a 12-year contract, not named Mike Trout, but I think he's underrated.
As a player, he's underrated. There's no question about it. He's one of the best players in the league. You already named his stats. But he a fool. I don't know what's wrong with him. You can't turn down no bag like that.
I don't know. What baffles me about it is I don't know why you would want a 12-year deal with a team you haven't played a single pitch with.
But he said he wanted 2 more years, right? Or
12 years, yeah. 12 years and probably more change, yeah.
Like, what in the world? Like, he want that Tatis deal. That's what he want.
He's better than Tatis.
At this point in his career, yes, he is. But Tatis is young. He's only 20. 20, 21 years old.
Yeah, friends. I mean, Lindor's 26.
Right. So he's not much older. He's in the prime of his career. That's why I think he's underrated.
Yeah.
He's definitely underrated as a player. There's no question. He's one of the best. But, geez, like, come on now. 12 years, $250 million. That's $20 million a pop almost. $20 million a year.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And again, the contract's not really part of my opinion here.
But yes, he is underrated, without question. For everything that you mentioned, I have no more to add on that one.
Okay. Trent Grisham. Underrated, overrated.
Oh, boy.
That's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
Yeah, you definitely know who Trent Grisham is, right?
Yeah. Shortstop?
No, he's an outfielder. He plays for the Padres. I would say underrated.
I agree.
I say underrated, and the reason being is on a team, you need people to play roles, and you have to have people that do things that specialize. Specialist is what I want to say. He's a very good defenseman in the outfield. He's a guy that's left-handed hitter. Most of our power hitters are right-handed. He's a guy that gets on base as well. He hits some singles. He can hit for speed as well. He has nice speed. He's just a glue guy that ties it all together with the Padres lineup, with Hosmer, with Tatis, with Machado, also with Nola as our catcher. Bless you. So, I think that he's underrated. He gets overlooked a lot because of the sexy names on the team, but he's a glue guy that we need, and we know we need him.
I 100% agree, especially being only 24, going on 25 years old.
What?
Already having a Gold Glove.
Oh,
the bat can come around, but being this young and already winning a Gold Glove, to me, and you know me, I value defense especially in center field. Being a center fielder for such a good team right now,
that's the hardest outfield position to play.
It's so valuable. And I think that you look at his stats, and like, oh, I only batted 247, I believe, last year. Only hit a couple of home runs. That's not what's important. What's important is his defense, the speed that he possesses, especially at such a young age. Right. The offense can come. The offense at this point in his career is already only a bonus compared to the glove that he can flash out there in center field.
And Tommy Pham's on that team too.
He's a Gold Glover.
And he's a Gold Glover. So he gets overlooked. That's the main point.
LeBron James's health, underrated, overrated?
I'm gonna say overrated because.
Okay.
I'll say overrated. And the reason why I'll say overrated is because LeBron is a careful kind of basketball player, if I can even say that with a straight face, is that a lot of times the guys that play LeBron are just smaller, and he doesn't really take a whole lot of risk out there as far as, sprained ankles or, doing crazy moves. He's just not – that's not him. Like, every time you see LeBron going to the basket before a dunk, it's like Moses parted the Red Sea. It's open. And
it's also usually only in the playoffs
he
does that. So.
Right. It's go time, right? Then you have, sprained ankles don't really happen with LeBron because defensively, he's not really moving as much as he used to. Defensively, he's not. So he's playing more smarter than harder. So that's why I say his health is definitely is overrated because he's not going as hard as he used to in the regular season. He's only doing that in the playoffs, and really in the playoffs, how many threes can really guard LeBron James?
Right. I agree.
Right?
I agree.
So, there you have it.
Especially with the two major injuries lately. I agree. And also, I don't want to bring money into it, but having so much more money than any other NBA player to put into your body certainly helps. Because, I mean, Pascal Siakam's not putting that much into his body.
Ooh, no.
Ooh,
no. He ain't doing that.
What's going on with the Siakam today, man?
That was just a random player, I thought. Danny Green's not putting that into his body.
We know Danny Green ain't.
Right.
Oh, no, it's not because earlier you were like, they're not handing it over.
Yeah, I know. He was just in the back of my mind.
Hey, bro. I think he was doing good.
Pascal Siakam.
He was doing good last year.
Yeah, but we talking about 21. He got into a verbal fight with his coach. It's not a good look.
Oh, really? He did?
Yeah. He got into a verbal fight with Nick Nurse.
When that happened?
That happened about a month ago. They reported that it was a shouting match between them two because Nick Nurse was getting on Pascal for not playing hard. And Pascal was frustrated because they lost 9 games straight as Toronto. This is also the talk when Kyle Lowry was being, talked about in trades. So, Pascal, they put a lot on him because they said, we're going to let Kawhi go and we're going to give you the keys, right? But then obviously the pandemic happened. Toronto had to relocate to Tampa, and they did not start off well because Pascal didn't start off well. So they are putting a lot of pressure on him because they paid Pascal. I believe they gave Pascal a bag.
Yeah, they did.
So they're like, yo, we need you to take us back to the promised land. And he's not doing it. He ain't doing it on a consistent basis. And that's why Toronto is struggling, and that's why they're near the bottom of the standings.
Yeah, once you get that bag, man, some players
Expectations.
don't have no motivation.
Without question. Huh?
But I definitely think it's overrated because LeBron, he does put a lot of money into his health. Like Chris said, he's not really giving it a two-way effort like that anymore until the playoffs.
It's overrated lately. Yeah. I mean, to be that durable throughout his career is underrated.
Yeah, that's great.
But lately, now it's a different case. So, I agree with you guys. All right, moving on to top what?
Let's get it.
Jordan, you were 6 of 14, which is a pretty good percentage. Chris, how are you 2 of 10? How do you keep messing this stuff up, man?
Actually, you know what? I'm 3 of 14. That's what I am. This one, I'm terrible at this game. That's just I'm awful.
I like honesty.
3 or 4, yeah, I'm awful. Yeah, 3 or 14 is not good.
All right, well, are we ready?
What percentage is that?
That would be 21%.
What?
Because 3 of 15 is 1 out of 5. That's 20. So
it's impressive, man.
There you go.
All right, number 1.
Thank you.
Top what? Drew Brees in lowest interception percent of passes thrown. So,
oh gosh,
passes thrown. What percent of your passes thrown are intercepted? Yeah, and I'm talking about lowest percentage.
That sounds like a pro football focus type question.
3.
Top 3.
I'm gonna say top nothing.
Chris, you got to a good start. It is top nothing.
Yeah.
He is actually number 12, and you guys know who number 1 would be.
Yes. Brett Favre.
Wait, really? You mean Brett Favre, the guy who has the most interceptions in NFL history?
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I'm saying.
Lowest percentage of passes intercepted.
Oh, lowest.
Right.
Oh, my bad.
Brett Favre might. I mean,
I would say if you say lowest, then I would have to probably say Tom Brady.
Yeah.
No, Tom Brady is. I'll give you guys the top, technically 4. Number 1 is Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
And he is tied with Patrick Mahomes, 1.4%.
Number Football Focus wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah, I know, right? Dropped interceptions. That's hilarious. Number 3 is Dak Prescott, 1.7.
Ooh.
Behind him is Colin Kaepernick at 1.8.
Well, he barely threw the ball.
Right, and he only played 5 years.
Right.
And then behind him is Tom Brady.
Okay.
So you guys are pretty close. Derek Carr is in there. Carson Wentz is in there.
Oh.
Alex Smith is in there, like we all would expect.
Carson Wentz. Oh my God.
Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Teddy Bridgewater. So yeah.
Yeah, trash.
All right, next. Eli Manning in game-winning drives.
Oh, Eli Manning in game-winning drives? Oh,
yep.
That's top nothing. To me. I think
top 5.
I'll be honest, I gotta pull this one back up. Hold on.
I'll say top nothing because
you said it's so disrespectful.
Eli was clutch.
Well, because he was clutching 2 playoffs. Remember, he missed the playoffs a lot more than he made it in his career.
But he was clutch.
He was clutch. But he is top nothing by that much. He's number 11.
God.
He's number 11. I know.
That's 2 for 2, baby.
Do you guys want to know number 1 is?
Game-winning drives, I'll say Elway.
Tom Brady.
John Elway is 7th. Tom Brady is 3rd. Peyton Manning is 1.
Wow.
54. And behind him, Drew Brees.
Oh, ex-Charger.
All right, Chris, you were 2 for 2, man.
That's right.
Just like that.
Baby, I do this.
All right, number 3.
Back, man. It's crazy.
Charles Peanut Tillman in forced fumbles.
Who is that?
Peanut, the cornerback for the Bears, and he played for the Panthers.
Boy, oh
my
boy.
gosh.
How are you on a sports talk show sometimes? Man?
This one, I'm, cause man, he was big time with that peanut, with the
peanut punch.
Yeah, I'm gonna go top 10.
I'm gonna say top 9.
Chris, man, 3 for 3. He is number 6.
Boy, I'm balling so hard. Y'all better come find
man.
me. You know what I'm saying?
That's incredible. All right, last one.
Oh, you got 4. Okay.
I got 4. Yeah.
You got 4.
Yes.
Charles Woodson in interception return yards.
Dang, I
Please
don't
tell
know who
me.
that is.
No, you
Oh
don't.
my
no,
goodness.
You were not. You playing?
Oh
What?
my!
No, like-
Charles Woodson, the greatest cornerback of all time.
Greatest cornerback? You sure?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Better than Deion?
Oh gosh, Dion is the most over. Listen, Dion is a top 5 guy. Dion is not the best cover corner of all time.
That's a different conversation we're gonna have for a different day.
We love Dion because he was a return guy.
Is Charles Woodson better than Rod Woodson?
No.
Oh my goodness. I love
Oh wait,
Charles.
no. Oh, sorry, Charles Woodson. I don't know why I was thinking of Tillman. Charles Woodson is better than Rod Woodson. Yes.
Okay.
Rod Woodson's also probably a top 5er.
Yeah. That's the.
Okay, so not in this order. This is a separate conversation.
It is a
but
separate conversation.
you have Rod Woodson, Charles Woodson,
Okay.
Darrell Revis,
Okay.
Deion Sanders.
Where's Ronnie Lott?
He was a safety.
Oh, you just talking about corners?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
I
sorry.
mean,
I thought you were talking about defensive backs.
beating all of these guys is Ed Reed. Ed Reed's the best of all these guys. Number
Okay.
one.
Okay. I think Ronnie
and
Lott
then-
is.
And then Darryl Green.
Okay. I like your list. I do.
Yeah.
I just don't have Charles. I
And
have
I think-
Charles in
and
the 5.
And I'll probably have Deion at 5 if I'm being honest.
I have Charles in the 5. I just don't have him as the best.
Who do you have as best?
Rod,
Just as
Rod,
long,
Rod,
okay.
Rod
As
Woodson.
long as it's not Deion Sanders.
No,
we're
I
good.
I have Deion at 2 and Woodson at 3.
I'm not happy with it. I'll accept it.
Okay.
You need to know who Charles Woodson is, though.
He played for the Oakland Raiders. He also played for the Green Bay Packers. Won the Super Bowl with Green Bay. Played at the University of Michigan, where he won a Heisman as well.
As a defensive back.
Mhm.
Anyway, Charles Woodson in interception return yards of all time.
Top 5. So
No, I don't think he's top 5.
he's out.
I'm going to say. I might be wrong, but I'm gonna say top nothing.
Chris with the sweep. He is top nothing. He is 12th.
Really?
Yes.
I was guessing my tail off on that.
Do you know who number 1 and number 2 are?
In interception yards of all time?
Interception yards. So this is not just corners, right? So yes. Think about it.
I gotta go Ed Reed. He gotta be up there because he's had a couple 108 yarders.
Yeah.
For up there.
He has, I think, what's going to end up being probably the most unbreakable record in
Is he
NFL
one?
history. Yes.
1,500.
1,590. And then Rod Woodson is 2 with
He's
1,483.
He's my best corner, but he did convert over to safety as well. But he started off at cornerback. Well, you better read some history. What's wrong with you, listen? I understand you don't know Peanut, but Charles Woodson, you got to know Hall of Famers.
I just got on football, probably like 2 years.
Can you believe Marcus Peters is on this list?
No, I cannot.
26.
I cannot believe that. And 2 years ago, really? You
3 years.
So you've been on the NBA tip for a minute, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Just start your segment, Jordan. I'm so disappointed. in you. Just start your segment.
See, I got to learn the NFL players,
Go ahead, man.
Yeah,
We're on to the segments.
It's on you. It's on you.
I'm upset.
You're upset? Well, I'm upset with what's going on in Boston.
Talk to us.
All right. We talked about Boston last week. So Boston made moves as well. I know it's Coach Spotlight, but I have like a little GM call out here. So Boston traded for Evan Fournier. I completely forgot what they gave up for that, but
Nothing.
they ended up losing Daniel Tice. And that is the biggest hole. Daniel Tice is not necessarily, a superstar center or anything like that, but he was like their only center who was putting up good numbers and good production on that team that they give a chance to, because they still don't really use Taco Fall that much. But they gave up Daniel Tice, knowing that their hole is at the center position. And that's not good, knowing that they're already falling short of expectations in the Eastern Conference. They should be up at top right now, up top with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kemba Walker, and Marcus Smart, but they're not. They have failed to have a center who can rebound the ball and enforce his presence defensively. And losing Daniel Tice definitely does not help them. They're going to be more exposed with Robert Williams. I think Robert Williams is okay, but he's definitely not going to do anything against the big teams. They're looking at a first round exit here. They make playoffs with starting a guy like Robert Williams. Next up, I want to congratulate Greg Popovich for being the third coach in NBA history to hit 1,300 wins. He will definitely go down as one of the greatest coaches of all time whenever he chooses to retire. But it seems like Greg Popovich is going to coach Spurs forever. And he's doing a good job this season too. The Spurs are like, no one's really talking about Spurs, but they've been in playoff picture pretty much a good amount of the season.
They have.
Yeah. And it's kind of like they're under the rug. I mean, no one's talking about them. I mean, I honestly don't even know what DeRozan's doing. I guess he's having a pretty good season.
Yeah,
but
he all right.
I guess he's having a pretty good season because they're in the playoffs without Aldridge. And, well, that's not saying too much because Aldridge wasn't a big contribution anyways. But I feel like he's really working with this young core. It's Greg Popovich, so that's what you would do anyway. But DeJounte Murray, Popovich is really bringing out the best in DeJounte Murray. He's a really good rebounder for a guard, and he's a really good defender. He's not the biggest scorer out there, but he does that defense and rebounding. And then Derek White, he's working with Keldon Johnson as well. I've seen his development, and Popovich is doing phenomenal with who he has because he doesn't really have that many names on the Spurs team, but he's still making them in the Western Conference, still making them a playoff team.
Yeah, they're all right.
Last year, he missed the playoffs for the first time in, 20 years for Popovich?
Yeah, 20-plus years.
Yeah. I think he had to adjust to, like, the team he's had because he's never had a team quite like that before where he didn't have
Trash.
I mean,
yeah. Call what you say.
Yeah.
Call what
Yeah.
it is.
I mean, he had DeRozan, but the rest of the team around him was just,
Trash.
I won't say trash. It's just that they're undeveloped. Like now that they're developed by Popovich, they're starting to learn how to play together. And then you got Lonnie Walker playing the best of basketball he's played. So Popovich had to learn how to use everybody. Like, well, that and also the young players had to learn what it's like to play in the league because, everyone jokes on Popovich playing with old players. That's where Spurs players go when they turn old, and apparently they turn out to be good again when they go to Popovich. But he had a whole bunch of young players, so that was different last year. I don't think Popovich has ever had that many young players on one team at one time before. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to see that going down. Also, Miami, with the addition of Oladipo, that's definitely going to be an interesting adaptation to adjust to Oladipo, like whether he is going to come off the bench. I mean, I think there's no way you can put that guy on the bench if you're trying to re-sign him. If you're just using him for a one-year rental, then yeah, go ahead and do it. But if you put him on the bench right now, I don't think he's going to return. He's going to go to like the Knicks or someone like that. And well, it's not like they lost anything really, so I guess you could say they lost Olynyk. My other problem with the Heat is giving up Olynyk, though. Do they have another big man other than Bam in the playoffs? Because that was a big problem against Miami in the playoffs, and like other teams who have big guys. Is Bam's not always going to be out there. Bam's not playing 48 minutes every single game. So what are you going to do as far as getting boards and defending other bigs and inside presence? It was like Jimmy can't play center. They don't really have another 4 or a 5. That they gave up Kelly Olynyk for Oladipo, which I mean that's a really good trade. But that's saying if all you have to give us Kelly Olynyk, yeah, go ahead and do it. But do you have another big body you can throw at people when Bam's out? Or say, I mean, I don't speak injury on anybody, but Bam did get injured last year, so you had to go to Olynyk.
Yeah.
We all know what went down with Myers Leonard. You don't even have him.
Yeah.
You'll have Myers Leonard or Kelly Olynyk, which they're not names, but at least they're tall guys who could get rebounds.
They tall.
Yeah, so tall and could get rebounds and possibly, put up floaters and things. Olynyk could shoot pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so that's something to look at too. That's another reason why I feel like Miami will not ascend the way we think they will, like last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that'll basically do it for Coach Spotlight.
All right.
All right, so it's your boy CD here for the California Love Hate segment. Sometimes it's more love than hate, sometimes it's more hate than love, but you know you rocking with your boy. We're gonna talk a little bit about the love part. We're gonna give some love to the USC Trojans as they did bow out, I should say, to the Gonzaga team. A couple nights ago, they did get waxed on them, but they was a 6 seed, baby. They was in the first 4 playing that 11 seed. They won. They advanced to the Elite 8. Got to give you roses to the USC Trojans representing my hometown of California. Y'all know what it is. Obviously, there's another team that's representing California, that other team that's over there that is in the Final Four that beat Michigan last night. Got to give them kudos because they were an 11th seed. Haven't had that high of a seed in the Final Four since Shaka Smart's VCU team back in 2011, which was 10 years ago. So you got to give them some love as well. Matt Cronin coming over from Cincinnati, I believe, has definitely done his thing at UCLA, and now they're in the Final Four playing against the Gonzaga team.
Mick Cronin.
Did I say Matt?
Said, yeah, something like that.
I said Matt. Okay,
Matt
Cronin.
Cronin.
My bad, Mick. I don't mean to get your name wrong, baby. You must be a superstar. You got the same name as Mick Jagger. You dig? So I'm sorry about that. My apologies. Next up, we're gonna talk about my Los Angeles Lakers. Listen, yes, we are without LeBron. Yes, we are without AD. But we did get Andre Drummond, and we did get Dennis Schroeder back. We are on a somewhat mini win streak. Yes, we did beat Cleveland, and we did beat the Magic. Hello, the Clippers didn't beat the Magic. Ooh. So let me tell you something about the Lakers. You gonna come back on. But mind you, they did beat the Bucks, but they lost to the Magic. Now, mind you, with Andre Drummond, the rebounding game has went up on times 10. Ain't nobody gonna get offensive rebounds on us because he's gonna protect the paint. He's gonna allow AD to play his natural position as the 4. He's gonna allow LeBron to play his natural position as the point forward. I'm telling you, the Lakers, when they come back as a whole and we get our 2 superstars back, it's on. Repeat, 2021. Holla at your boy. They coming out of the West. The next team I want to talk about.
You were just talking about how they're not coming out of the West.
I said if they don't come back, it's a slim to none chance. If they don't, if the 2 superstars don't.
That's not what I asked you.
He said,
I said, what do you think the Lakers' chances are of coming out of the West? You said, let's move on.
Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying their chances are slim to none if they don't have LeBron and AD.
Well, clearly, it's none if
they don't have both of them. No, they can't just have one. They don't have both of them. They ain't coming out of nothing.
If they have both of them, I wouldn't put them past round 2.
Ooh. You about to get Kiss the Baby and Child, please.
Ooh. What makes you think that they're just going to be able to plug and play and dominate?
Listen,
Andy Davis, even when he was playing, was not great.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
The Lakers, when you are champions and you know how to win that thing, then you know how to play when the lights are bright and the playoff time comes along. Yeah. Everybody's chasing them. They're not chasing nobody. They are the champions right now. I'm telling you, you got Andre Drummond into the mix.
They're the bubble champions, yeah.
Okay, see, there you go.
No, I'm serious. This is different. No, seriously, this is different. They have to win an actual title now.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
I think that's the reason why Miami got so far because like the bubble.
Miami's not doing that again.
Yeah, it's the bubble. Bubble
ain't got nothing to do with no bubble. Okay,
it's got a lot to do with the ball.
First of all, the ball and the rims are the same. You shoot, you score, you rebound.
You have no fans, no energy, things like that.
No energy.
There's no
energy
home
gonna
games.
put the ball in the basket?
There's no home games. Though.
Yeah, actually it does. You watch college basketball? Yes. Momentum's a big thing.
Well, if energy put the ball in the basket, why the hell Michigan lost last night? Because they couldn't put the ball in the basket at all.
They just weren't good enough.
Well, there you have it. The teams is just not going to be good enough to beat the Lakers if they are at full strength and they're clicking. Like I said.
Okay, that's fine. I very strongly disagree, and I'm almost 1,000% sure that you're wrong.
Okay.
But we'll move on.
All right. So
just for the purpose of the show.
Yeah, I understand. You can disagree to agree. That's okay. Now, the Warriors got to give them some love too. Steph Curry has been playing phenomenal. He came back from his tailbone contusion. He's playing well. He's doing his thing. Wiseman is developing as a young center in the game. Draymond even hit a half-court shot. Oh, I mean, that's just something different. The Warriors are playing well. They're in the playoff mix. They're probably going to make the playoffs. You got to give them some love. That is for sure. Also, going to give my Padres some love. Opening day starts tomorrow, baby. We play against the Diamondbacks, open up against Madison Bumgarner. Yu Darvish is getting the game 1 start of 162.
Wow.
Yes, Blake Snell's actually starting in game 2. So they start tomorrow, 4:10 p.m. This is a team that's projected to win 90-plus games. Not only win 90-plus games, but overtake the Dodgers in that division. It is going to be a race that I am willing to look at all season long because, baby, I'm behind my San Diego Padres, and I'm looking forward to us being in the World Series this year. I ain't got much more for California hate love, baby. But we might as well call it California love because there wasn't much hate on this segment. Take it away.
You left out the Clippers.
Yeah.
Why?
We're going to do that, too.
Okay. I think it's weird.
They beat the Bucks.
I mean, I think it's weird. I mean,
and they got Rondo.
Who?
All right.
They got Rondo.
You mean the guy that you just won a title with?
Hold
Rondo?
on.
No, you don't get to say
on,
who. No, you don't get to say that.
Hold on,
You just
man.
won a title with the Rondo.
We ain't talking about no Clippers.
You
We ain't
backed
talking
yourself
about
into a wall on that one, didn't you?
we ain't talking about no Clippers, okay?
You should,
Why? For what?
because they're better than the Lakers.
Oh, my gosh. Would you just go with your segment? Oh, we ain't going to talk about no Clippers, okay?
All right.
Sorry, team. They sorry.
The Clippers are solid.
They sorry. They get on my nerves.
The amount of hate that you have for the Clippers is hilarious. Completely irrational, but that's okay.
It's only 88% of 100%.
Okay. Okay. The MMA moment. Last weekend, Francis Ngannou knocked out Stipe Miocic in round number 2
Did he?
to become, is an acronym for you here, Chris, if you can keep up, the BMOTP. What's that?
Best money on the pie.
No. It is the baddest man on the planet.
Oh, I thought you
It's the
said
heavyweight title. Is that is
talking about pie. My bad.
baddest man on the planet.
Okay.
Something that was really scary about Ngannou is that he learned everything from the first loss from Stipe Miocic.
He did.
He threw a head kick. He looked perfect, and that is very scary. If he were to fight John Jones tomorrow, if that were the fight to make, John Jones would have the 3rd loss on his career because Francis Ngannou would absolutely decapitate, especially a light heavyweight like John Jones. That's probably the fight to make, though. That's going to be one of the biggest fights, if not the biggest fight in UFC history, Francis Ngannou versus John Jones.
Without question.
That's really all I had for the MMA moment. Let's go to alumni assumptions right on time.
Let's do it, baby.
3:40. You got us for us?
Yep.
All right, what you got?
We
NFL?
got 9. NFL and NBA.
NFL and NBA, baby.
All right.
Okay.
NBA was my weakness last week.
Yeah, it was. But that's
112 to 89 here, Chris.
All right.
Good.
Here we go.
Yep.
Ikpe Udo.
Oh, oh my gosh. Yes, I do actually. I know this.
But
I know where
he went to 2.
Oh man. Well, I know one of the two.
All right. Which one?
I also know he went to. Yeah. Gosh, I know we played high school as well, but Baylor.
Yeah.
Is that the school?
I wouldn't have known that.
Okay.
I wouldn't have known that.
All right.
What's the second one?
Royce O'Neal.
I would
From
not.
the Jazz? Yeah, I wouldn't have known that one.
You would have, or
I would have from the Jazz. I don't know Ipe, but the Odu. I don't know who that. Who is that?
Is a
Epic
center.
Udo is like I think that's how you're supposed to say it. I don't know.
Okay, I would have
And
known Royce.
Torian Prince was the last
I
one.
definitely would have known that one.
Okay.
Okay.
But I
All
would
right.
have known Royce.
I'm gonna suspectly give you 2 points here because I don't know if you would have known Royce O'Neal.
What?
I'm gonna give you 2 points, but it's suspicious.
Okay.
But you get, but I mean, regardless, you get your 2 points.
Okay.
Jake Matthews.
The offensive tackle for the Falcons.
I was gonna say there's a couple of Jake Matthews. There's a UFC fighter. Jake Matthews. Yeah, I know where he went for sure.
I'm gonna say USC.
Nah.
Gosh. Okay. Do you want me to say it?
Yeah,
I
you
definitely
go
know it.
Go ahead.
A&M.
Yeah.
Texas A&M.
Go ahead
Yeah.
with the second play.
Randy Bullock.
I definitely would have known
Randy
that
Bull. I would not have known that.
one. I would have
either.
known that one.
Von Miller.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
I would have known Vaughn.
All right.
For sure.
All right. Adam Humphries.
Adam Humphries. Good God.
That's a wide receiver.
Yeah, for the Titans.
Is it Memphis?
Nah.
Is it SMU?
Nope.
Then next one then.
Mike Williams.
There's
USC?
a lot of Mike Williams, but the one that plays for the Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers.
Oh, Clemson.
Clemson.
Yeah.
Yep. Who was the last one?
T. Higgins. Bengals.
Yeah, of course.
Gosh. All right.
We knew we had to get the
You
Bengals
move
in
on.
there.
Number 4.
Andre Smith.
Andre Smith for the Bengals. I do actually. I think I do.
Bengals.
He held out in his rookie year on Hard Knocks a long time ago. I remember that very clearly.
Is it TCU?
No.
No, I don't know.
Is it? Oh man, actually, I know it's between two schools. I'm gonna go with my gut and say it's Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Amari Cooper.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have gotten that
Let's
one.
move on.
Who was the
Colin
last one?
Sexton.
Colin Sexton was the last one.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right.
I would put him at 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have got definitely 2 points on that one. Amari
Y'all
Cooper.
would have got Colin Sexton though. Like,
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we knew it,
Oh.
but
Yeah, I would have got Colin Sexton.
you would think like Tua or Mac
Oh.
Jones or
Right.
something like that. That's all right. You're doing great.
Let's see. Oh, David Long.
David Long.
Yeah.
I know Kyle and the pass rusher.
Let me see what position.
David. Oh, I got it. I'll look it up. David Long. I'm not
No,
gonna.
you can't look it up because you know that.
Yeah, I mean honor system. Oh, he plays for the Rams. I don't know who that is, so I'm not gonna guess the college. I did not look at the college already.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
corner.
Corner.
David Long.
Texas.
Nah.
I don't
No,
know.
I don't know that.
Gonna have to move on.
Yeah. Who's the 2-point?
Jamal Crawford.
Yep.
Bro, do I know where he went to school?
I do.
Jamal Crawford.
I believe I do.
Man, the NBA history again is kind of an Achilles heel of mine.
I believe I do. I might be
Go
wrong.
ahead and say it. I don't really
Is it
even have to
Washington?
guess.
No.
No,
Oh,
I don't. I don't know that. Jamal Crawford?
give us a hint. Like, what
Jamal
region is it?
Crawford.
I'm gonna give you a hint. Let me think.
Jamal Crawford.
I don't even have a guess, man.
It's like a football school.
Is it a small school? or big
Football school. Okay.
Well, like they're usually known for football, but they're pretty good at basketball too. Sometimes
Oh gosh.
they're pretty good.
Florida,
They're good at basketball this year.
I have no idea.
Oregon State.
No,
I don't know.
Who's that? Who's the 1 point?
Duncan Robinson.
Oh, wait, Michigan.
I wouldn't have known that.
You would not have known that. Really?
Jamal Crawford went to Michigan?
Man,
I didn't know that either.
interesting. You know, you imagine these guys in these jerseys, and I just never imagined him in a college jersey at all.
I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, I didn't know Lou Williams went straight to the league.
Yeah.
From high school?
Yeah,
Oh, I
He
did
did.
not either.
He did.
yeah.
Okay.
He said he was going to go to UGA, but he declined he went for the draft instead.
All right.
Coming out of Atlanta.
What are we at? 7?
Yep.
All right.
Dwayne Bacon.
Yes.
No.
Oh, dang.
I don't know
You
who
Dwayne
that is.
Bacon?
I definitely know Dwayne Bacon.
All right.
Yep.
Terrence Mann.
Who?
Terrence Mann from the Clippers.
Yeah, he's basketball. I knew he is. Jeez.
Uh,
Oh,
They
man.
say he's the next Paul George.
This is the
I do not know that.
same thing in
Terrence-
terms of this is a football school. But has been
Kentucky?
has been a better basketball school in recent history than football.
Yeah, they're pretty decent this year.
Yes.
Is it Memphis?
Nah,
I don't know. Ooh, what's the 1 point?
Jonathan Isaac.
Ooh, Texas.
No,
No.
No?
It's Florida State, man.
Wow,
Florida
I did not
State.
know. I didn't know that one.
Yep.
That was a good one.
I love Jonathan Isaac. That guy's a
Yep.
freak.
Florida State.
Yeah.
Damn, man. I don't know.
120. I'm pulling away, man. It's a big week for me.
Yeah, sheesh.
Dang.
Charlie Heck.
Yeah, I have no idea who these names are.
What is that?
He played for the Texans.
Charlie Heck?
Yeah.
How's it spelled?
Heck.
Like actual heck. I don't no clue who that is.
Me neither.
Let's see. What position?
Charlie Heck sounds like a quarterback and or kicker.
Offensive tackle.
Yeah.
Okay,
Go,
not what I
go to the
expected.
2 point.
All right. Robert Quinn.
Robert Quinn. Wow.
Is it Baylor?
Nah.
I'm not very sure of this guess, but is it gosh, hold on. Is it North Carolina?
Yeah.
It is North
Dang,
Carolina.
bro, how'd you get
Okay.
Who's the 1 point?
James Worthy.
Okay, let's move on. I know James.
And you know what's funny? I wouldn't have gotten James Worthy.
He's an
Really?
ex-Laker, North Carolina.
I would not. Basketball history is my Achilles heel. If it's not Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson or Larry Bird, I don't think I know who it is. Okay, I thought Hakeem Olajuwon went to Africa.
You did. You did. You said that with a straight face too.
I thought Enes Kanter was out of Turkey. So clearly, I have some problems in that area.
Yeah, basketball history is my thing. I definitely do.
Well, we got one last one.
Two more.
Two more.
Oh,
Cool.
2 more. All right.
Cool. Awesome.
Patrick Queen.
Yes, he was just drafted.
Dang.
Patrick who?
Patrick Queen.
See, you take pride in being able to stump us, which is good, which makes it competitive.
No, it doesn't.
Linebacker.
I have no idea what these names are.
Linebacker for the Ravens, first round pick.
Nah, I don't know who that is.
All right. Jarvis Landry.
LSU.
Yep.
I knew that one.
See, football is my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Basketball is Chris's. I think that we found.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, the final one was Tyrann Mathieu.
Ellis. Oh, that's the 1 point. It's
Yeah.
Tyrann Matthew.
Say
Matthew.
Tyrann Matthew.
He said it like it was French.
My man Tyrann Matthew. That's what I introduce y'all to Tyrann Matthew. that boy French. He from the French Quarter. from New Orleans.
That was like Fragile in Christmas Story. He's like, I must be Italian.
Like in Damacon. When you said
Suh?
Yeah,
Dominican suh?
suh. That's what's up, man. Oh,
All right,
geez.
last one.
Oh, jeez.
Taj Gibson.
Memphis.
Nope.
No, I don't know.
Taj Gibson. Hold
Really
on.
good NBA player.
Yeah.
Like, phenomenal NBA player.
Taj
Good
Gibson.
NBA player.
Dang. USC?
Oh, yeah, he got it.
Really? Nice. Well
Yeah.
done. Okay. Next
Nikola
one.
Vucevic.
I
You
would not.
definitely wouldn't have got that
I
one.
would not have
'Cause I
gotten that
wouldn't have got that one.
I thought that was another guy who just played overseas and got drafted. I was like, he got drafted from what, Serbia or something?
DeMar DeRozan.
You definitely
yeah.
You definitely
I would have
got
gotten that one.
Yeah, I knew Taj was USC. I was like, okay, that sounds. But I didn't know Vujicic played at USC. I did not know that.
For some reason, the only USC big man that I know is Shemaze Metu and Dwayne Dedman, because he played for the Hawks and he's terrible.
He's awful.
Yeah,
He
he's
is
a
awful.
terrible watch.
He's definitely.
All right, last segment, stars of the week. We're gonna end a little bit early here on the swoop, but for me,
Deadman like that, man.
I'm gonna do Dedman like that. He's terrible. But you know what? He's had a much more successful career than 99.999% of people in this world. So that's pretty good. My stars of the week, number one, we didn't get to talk about it. Drew Brees retiring. This is a top 10 quarterback of all time.
Yep.
I have him ranked a little bit lower than some people, but just a great career, man. Won Super Bowl, especially the timing of that Super Bowl after Hurricane Katrina had affected New Orleans. Goes and wins the Super Bowl for New Orleans, which really has been a horrible franchise for most of its life. Drew Brees, the best free agent signing of all time. Could have been a San Diego Charger, or was a San Diego Charger. Could have been a,
Could have been a lifelong.
should have been a lifelong.
Right.
And they had Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
You know how that went. But
yeah, we do.
number two, star of the week, Mike Soroka. He pitched 2 flawless innings yesterday. The first time he's pitched since he tore his Achilles last year early on. He is going to be in the starting rotation. I think he's going to be another guy that's going to be in the Cy Young candidate for at least a few more years in his prime. So Soroka at number 2. And then number 3, MLB fans across the nation, because opening day is tomorrow, guys.
It is.
So excited. So
I am.
MLB fans, 3rd star of the week. That's it for me.
All right. I got to start off with Zion Williamson. He's been putting up some numbers efficiently.
The underrated Zion Williamson.
Yep. Yeah, he came in with all eyes on him, and this year he is under the radar. Zion Williamson has been balling. He hasn't really been shooting, but he doesn't even need to. He's been balling efficiently. He's been attacking from the 3, running from 3-point line into the paint, and no one can do anything about it. The other night he dropped a career high, 39 points. I think he was 16 for 19 shooting. I mean, that's just incredible. Zion is just out here wreaking havoc. We also got UCLA. I think UCLA being an 11th seed coming into the Final Four. Oh, man, yeah, that's quite the feat. And then last but not least, I got Gonzaga. They're playing great basketball. They're playing with ball movement, kind of like the Warriors. It's just like spreading the ball everywhere, and it's like you don't even know who's gonna have the biggest night on every game.
All right, save the best for last as normally. First
Get
one.
outta here.
Stop it. The first star of the week is going to be Russell Westbrook. He had a 35, 14, and 21 game. He's had 2 monster back-to-back triple-doubles. He's been absolutely balling down there in the Wizards. Now, have they translated all to wins? No, but he is playing phenomenal. He even had a dunk on Bismack Biyombo. Sit down, Biyombo. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of his dunks right there. He was awesome in that. The second star of the week, I got to show some love to the ladies. I got to show some love to the Mrs. Paige Bruckers, a UConn guard, UConn Huskies guard. Absolutely balling. Played against her friend Caitlin Clark in Iowa. They defeated them. Then had, of course, a controversial win versus Baylor. But they still won the game, and they are now in the Final Four. And we'll be still playing for a championship, so you got to show them some love. And last but not least, I got to show some love to the Baylor Bears. Baylor men's Bears team. They have absolutely played phenomenal. They've been a great team. Like Jordan was saying, they've been the second best team pretty much all season long. They have played consistent. Now they're going up against Houston in the Final Four. And I have them in the championship game. So Baylor, don't disappoint me. And that's my stars of the week. Saving the best for last, of course.
All right, as we are going to end just humbly, as Chris noted right there, that's going to be it. That's going to be it here on the Swoop every Wednesday from 2 to 4. Hey, maybe next week we'll have microphones, guys. Very nice setup. We'll see.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a microphone.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that is going to be it for us here on the Swoop. Thank you so much for listening. Go straight to Mike.
Don't do that.